Hi, Julie Torrance here. Well, we've been working together on this journal, and if you notice, we've been working on things together. I've been decorating and making some things to add to, but I've got spaces like this, and I've got spaces, well, here's two big spaces, but here, little tags. I want some labels. Now, I've got some labels. See, I used a label here, and I don't know if I have any more in this, but look, here I would love a label, or here. This is a pocket. We made this together, and I need something to go in that pocket, but look at all this. I might turn that into writing space, but I think you get the idea. I need some labels. Now, the labels that I have, I've already used, and I just feel like I'm rinse, repeat. So I'm gonna make some more, and I wanna make them a little different. I've got some stamping blocks. This is a biggie. I've got some stamps, and instead of just like showing you all that, we'll just kind of look at them as we go along. I also have a variety of scraps. So I'm just gonna kind of let the scraps at first sort of dictate what I'm doing. I am on a 3mm piece of fun foam, and I bought that a while back, and I find that it can help me get a little bit clearer of a impression, even though I'm working on a softer mat. So I hope you can see these. I'll pull it out. This is a set of stamps that's for making labels. And if you're just getting started, and I know many of you are, I wish this would have been the first stamp I ever bought. It is one of the first and really only stamps that I bought brand new. Specifically, I wanted it. You know what I mean? So it's just frames. But I have made labels without these frames. It was a little bit hard for me. So I've got this piece of dictionary page that I had left over from another project, and it's got some acrylic paint on it. So I'm just going to pick one of these that I think I can, make some frames on. And I'm going to use my archival ink. I've got black. Nothing particularly exciting about that, but it's fine. I mean, it's good. It's a good way to start. A lot of people have black ink. Now, you don't have to have archival ink. Use what ink you have. I do find archival ink works a little bit better for me when I'm going on top of acrylic. So I'm just gonna see if I can fit a couple of nice I hope you are doing well. I'm doing okay. Now I've got that space. This obviously won't fit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stamp it off. I'm just over here on a scratch sheet of paper, stamping off the ink. And I find with the archival ink, that's often enough. When I'm all done, I may go through and then, I'm gonna grab this square one. I may go through and give them all a wipe. Now I bought this set, believe it or not, and I know how many of you feel, but I bought it on Temu. Why? I looked on Amazon. I looked at some of my places that I buy art supplies, and I could not find a variety in one little set that was also, in my opinion, easier to cut out. So that's why. Something else I wanted to talk about. I get in the comments, and I'm very grateful. continue to give me hints about taking the ink pad and putting it on the stamp, you know, this style. But because these ink pads have the lid attached the way they do, it's often impossible for me to do that. So just, I'm not ignoring you. It just doesn't work for me. Okay, I'm gonna just set this aside. With acrylic paint, I often do also find, look at, there's a deer. I find that it just needs a little minute to dry. And I'm gonna take this square that I already have on here, and I'm gonna see if I can catch that deer. Oh, I can't. All right, well, I'm not gonna waste this ink. I'm checking what words. Falsehood, no. Familiarity, well, I wanna save room for that. Familiarize, how about that? That's not a bad word. Oh, see? It's all right. I can go in with a Sharpie and sharpen that up if I want to. And I'm going to grab a couple more words. I know that doing it the way I'm doing this right now may not be using, oh, well, that's me. All right. Now the game's on, right? Now I've got to get one that's not going to fail me like that. Press all over, Julie. Press all over. Yeah, better. One more. I'm going to try to make it a little straighter, too. I'm not getting it real straight. And these are just going to have random words on it. I didn't try to isolate a word. Okay. Now, let's just stamp this off. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. Now, I have a circle, but I don't have a punch, and that's not even big enough. All right. Show you something else. I just recently got these from Whatnot. Border minis from Stampin' Up! From 1995. And I thought, when I saw this, and I think, I can't remember how much I paid, but I generally pay around $1-ish. Now, these have not even been mounted, but they've been used. Isn't that interesting? Okay. Will that go around? I don't think so. All right. Well, there's got to be a way. I mean, I've got this huge one, but yeah, we're not going to do that. Buddy, you're just going to have to wait. Do I want some more over here while I just have this in front of me? Won't hurt. Let's get just a couple of big rectangles. And maybe I'll switch up colors. I like red. There's a lot of times that just a little punch of red will work well on something that I have an awful lot of black and white on. Now, with this bright yellow, I'm going for it. And I'm going to grab that word, fancied. Give it a push everywhere, huh? Okay, good. Another one. I'm just going to go for random words. If my head's in there, I apologize. Just like me, though, I'll tell you. Okay, I think we've done good with this. Here's where I put the other one. Let me put these someplace where I can lose them later. And here we go. I'm just stamping off that red. And get this back on here. Okay, what else do I have? This is from a piece of junk mail, and the back has still some paper on it, but I think it'll be okay. I'm going to give her a try. So let's see. A stamp that will fit. That's a little too tight. Is that the one I just used? I don't know. But I think it'll make some cool looking labels, don't you? Okay, and I think I'm going to go back to black. This has some little shiny bits in it, so again, I'm going to avoid running my hand over it. And I'm trying to line up with the polka dots to be straight. If they're not perfectly straight though, I use them anyway. Hey, that came out nice. Another one. This came from Happy Mail from Christine. Thanks, Christine. Hope you're watching. Hope you're feeling well. Okay, let's stamp that off a bit. And grab a different one. This one has a little different of a corner. Grab your scraps and get you some labels. One more. Now, don't worry. I am not going to inflict you watching me cut all these out, but we will take a look at the end as to how it looks, okay? All right, let's stamp that off, close that up. And I think I'm gonna put that stamp set aside because I think I would probably, for me and my stamping abilities, have a little better luck. Okay, what else do I have in this pile? Let's see. See a bit of digital. I've got some more of this. Okay, we've done that. I have, see, I'll show you. Bright, see, I have these and they're bright. So I'm just going to skip that for now because I feel like I've got that. This is a good one. Let's pull that out. We've done dictionary page. This I picked out because it had things like that. I think I've got some with more. I'm going to save that out. Now this is a piece of coffee dyed paper, but can you see the dimpling? That's because I left some coffee grounds in just to see what they would do. Well, now I know. It turns it into a paper similar to Braille. But I thought I wouldn't want to put this in a journal for writing on, but for making labels, it might be kind of cool. So I've got that. I'm going to set it aside just because it's so big. Here, this one. See what I saved it for? Look, wouldn't that make a good... Okay, so I've grabbed a few. Let's work on those. And I still have other types of scraps. Scraps can be our friends. Scraps can be a mess. All right, let's start with this. Look at that. Let's see what we can do with that. I know I've got some bigger rectangles. That's gonna fit good enough. And I'm gonna switch again. Another color that I like is blue. This is called Cobalt. But again, sometimes when I'm already working with neutrals, which isn't that often, I am crying in my heart for some color. And I'm gonna try to make it nice and straight, but I think this will make a nice little label. Yeah, good. Over here. Okay, it's all right. Like I said, I'm really not a stamper. I'm very new at this game, especially in comparison to some of you who are avid card makers, and the stamping you guys do is mind-boggling to me, and I'm not exaggerating. All right, I want to see if I can catch geometrical drawing. Okay, I can't, but I can get one of those words. Now, this stamp, obviously it's not going to be the highest quality, and when I stuck it on, the lines weren't straight. I had kind of a curve in it, so I'm tried to make it straight. Okay. I'm dealing with a lot of reflection. All right, we're just going for it. I think I caught some more of the next word, but that's okay. That'll be fine. That will be fine. Maybe that. Again, I know I'm not utilizing the paper maybe to its, best, to get as many as I can on one sheet of paper, but I am looking for some specific things. That one came out good. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. Stamp off. All right, now I definitely want to make some bigger ones. So before I even pick out a piece of paper, I'm going to get this. And again, I'm trying to keep all the lines straight. Now, let's use this. This is a scrap left over, and I got this from the Library of Congress, USA. And you just go to their.com, and then you go to the section that's marked Use and Reuse, and there's all kinds of documents and things that are in public domain that you can use. And I think for a project like this, it'll be great. And it's just handwriting. I can't even remember what this was about. I used to know. But free printable, free digital. A little weirdness right there. Not sure why, but doesn't matter. Okay, let's do another one. Get all the way around, Julie. Ooh, I kind of moved it, but it's good. All right, I'm just gonna tear that off, save this, and save this for now, but not for long. I've got one more like this that I can use. Can I make one more big one out of it? I think so. I'm really happy to use some of these scraps. Aren't you happy when you can use scraps? It does make me feel like I am achieving one of my goals for 2025, which has been repurpose, reuse. Oh, that really did not come out well. Ugh. Quit lamenting. Okay. You know, I still think I want to use this big one. I'm glad I'm changed. Well, I finished that scrap, but let's grab a different scrap. Hang on. How about this? Let's grab that, and let's grab. We already decided on that. And Okay, this is a digital that didn't come out quite right. Maybe we'll use that, but it's a scrap, but it's kind of not a scrap. This we made together, and I have the video, and it was making our own like packing tape. This is a scrap left over from some gel printing. We'll save that out, and let's see what we can do now. One of the things I like to do with this, and this is from an atlas, and it's the index of an atlas, is because it's columns, I can do it in the vertical instead of horizontal orientation, and I can get something that'll fit differently on a page. All right, I'm trying to make this straight. Some labels are like very positional, and I think words and letters can be very positional. Use them the way you want, but for me, okay. Wow, right there, terrible. Well, and there was a tear here that I didn't realize, so that's okay. That's okay. Quit lamenting. Find another group. Go for it again. This atlas is gigantic, and I got it from the Goodwill on a day that all hardbacks were $1. And it had a little water damage, but for me, it's fine. Okay. I'm pressing right there where it didn't really want to go. All right. Not great. Not great. Sometimes, especially with these kind of rubbery stamps, I didn't get it necessarily on this well, so I'm just going to do it again. I just picked it up and moved it. And let's see if we can get at least one decent one out of this. We should be able to, don't you think? Okay. I'm going with the longitude and latitude. That's what these numbers are. And then I think there's page numbers involved. But let's see if this improved what we've got going on here. Yes, it did. Okay. So put that in your little hint box. Just move your stamp. One more, because these two I don't think I'm going to use. Okay, nice and straight, I hope. Give it a good push all the way around. I do think this cushion underneath is helping. And these stamps are cushiony by nature, so. Okay, that's fine. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a scissors, and I'm going to just give this to make it manageable. And we, may come back to that. Don't know. All right. Put this in the done pile. Uh-oh. I'm getting confused where I'm putting done stuff. Oh, well. We'll figure it out. All right. This is a scrap. This is just like a neutral sheet. And so I've got some stamps that can work well with this type of a scrap. And I just stamp this off. And when I say stamp it off, I'm just stamping it repeatedly on a piece of scratch paper to lift the ink off. All right, I've got, for instance, this stamp. And I'll just show you. I got it in Happy Mail from Margaret, thank you. And I don't know if you can see, but I just call it Happy Words. You are my joy. You're my favorite feeling. You are my sun. You are my moon. Just happy words. And so I do have this, which is a Ranger ruler, but it's also acrylic, and so I can just put this on here. Now I will tell you, where there's these holes, it doesn't print well, but it prints better than if I just try to do it in my hand. I mean, none of this over here, you can see, is going to stamp off, but that's all right. All right, I'm going to go with black. Why? I don't know. Just am. And I'm going to get this as inked up as I can. But I am not expecting these words to come out crisp and clean. And if I wanted that, I could just use book page, right? All right, let's see what we get with this. Lots of pressing. One of the things I'm not doing, let's see if I can move this, is standing up. It's hard for me to stand up and sit down and stand up and sit down during a video. But I would probably be standing up more for this kind of stamping if I wasn't doing a video. But we're just gonna go with it, right? Right. All right, there we go. Okay, lift. Hey, not bad. Whoa, thank you very much. Let's just put this back out of the way. And obviously this is black, so maybe I will go with red again. And let's see. Sometimes I wonder, what would it be like if I just did like two close together? Will I double my fun? Should we give it a try? Can't go wrong, right? All right, get some ink. All right, and let's see what we get. Oh my goodness, my goodness. Julie, shortcuts don't always make things go shorter, right? But we'll try. Hey, that came out okay. Let's do two more. Okay. See what goes on here. So maybe you've got, especially you card makers, you've got those background stamps with all those words. I've seen them. And, you know, like coffee words and animal words, happy things. Get those out. Okay, I like that. Let's just take this, get my scissors. And put that with some other done ones. Now, a couple more, should we? Sure. And I'm gonna stamp off this red, go with some black. Up here, a little bit faint. But, oh, wrong way. But I think this way will be fine. Again, I'm trying to make it straight. So, you know, when it seems like I'm so hesitant. Good. Let's just do that spot and then we can call this little round done. I don't know. I'm going for it. Not sure if it's gonna fit. Oh. So, it's autumn here. It's a second week. I think it's the 15th, but I can't swear to it, of September 2025. I'm not too many days off. Okay, this one got cut off, and this one got on top of that, but we'll make it work. Don't you worry. Now maybe I'll do this and just leave it plain. How about a couple like that? Like I said, I want variety. I really want some variety. I got my little garden on my balcony. Tomatoes done. Probably got about maybe a dozen tomatoes off of my little tomato plant. But it was fun and they're delicious. Pepper plant is going strong. I've got happy peppers on that plant, and it wouldn't surprise me if I've already gotten, I would say 21, 22 little, they're banana shaped, but they're sweet peppers. And some are yellow, some are orange, and some are red, or you can just pick them, when they're green, but they're delicious. So I've enjoyed that. And then I've got 2 florals that are out there that are just as happy as can be, so that's good. Okay, all those are keepers. Set that aside. How are we doing? Are you liking this? I've got, let's put these away. I'm ready to move on to the next thing, and yet you got to clean up as you go, or else it's such chaos. At least it is for me. Okay, I got this big guy, and it has like the perforation of a stamp, which is cool, but how I would cut that out, I have no idea. The other thing is you can't see through it. So it's kind of like it is what it is. But I do have this, and I thought, let's make a couple on this and, see where we're, what we've got and what we can do with it. I may simply cut it out at the square, but I haven't made up my mind. If you have a hint it over to me. All right, now, this was another stamp I got on Whatnot, and I really don't plan on buying any more rubber stamps, but I like what I have. All right, not sure you can see it, but it came out good. Let's do one more like that. It's got a variety of colors in it. Now that it's isolated a specific spot on this sheet, I like this sheet even more. I liked it to begin with. Okay. Good. This stamp is from Judykins. I remember that name from the 90s. Okay, now I've got a space right there. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to just cut this out. And I'm going to put one that'll fit right there. Now, I wouldn't classify that necessarily as a label, although, anything's a label, right? If you've ever moved, you'll see a variety of sizes and words all plastered on your belongings. But let's get a little something right there. I think this one will fit. Oh, it's too tight. Not worth it. Let's do this one. Okay. There we go. And little black ink. So I was needing to make labels. I knew that. And I did run around the internet to try to get some inspiration. And there's so much out there. So, thank you for being here. But if this isn't quite your bag, then you know, there's a lot of great ideas. Sometimes I just need the inspiration to get up and get going, you know. Alrighty, now we've got a variety. Let's see what I can find. Not that I'm necessarily, well, I'm not done, but I'm going to cut them out and come back. But I just want to give you a little preview again of what we all did here. And I know I've got more. Let's see if I can find them quick. If not, you'll see them when I come back. Aha. I knew it. I knew it. Look. Here, here, and here. All right, now I'm going to find myself a nice video. Hope you do. But I'm going to be right back after I get them cut out. And the cutting out is done. I wanted to show you this. I separated them. This is where I had the most shape. You know what I mean? I made the most in this shape. And I only made 2 squares. So that's I'm going to make more of. I only made 2 of these little narrow ones. This, I got a few, and I would say this isn't a size that I use the most. So I'm happy with those. But this is what I want to show you. Remember this stamp? It's this rubber stamp. And I was saying, how am I going to cut along there? Well, look. Can you see that I did? How? I cut along just like that, you know, like you would expect. And then I have this punch, and this punches small. I bought it for that reason. I wanted a punch that punches small. Here is a regular standard punch. And you can get these types of punches at the office supply stores. I think that's, you know, your best bet. But I just took that little punch and went all around. So now I love this, and I'm going to use it some more. Now, we talked about using these, and see, I just think for something like this, and yes, I see that I'm missing a little bit there, but you know, I'm not just going to set this there and call it a day. I'm going to move it over here and then put something else over here, and it'll be fine. So just because I missed, or if I am going to use it in a space, I can just take a Sharpie when it's the black. Now, I don't have a Sharpie that matches the red or a Sharpie that matches the green. That's okay, you know, but see, I just think these can be so fun. And I personally need more of these. And now I've got them to use in spaces like this. Well, I hope that you found this helpful. Took me about, I would say, a little less than an hour to cut all these out. And there were some that once I cut them out, I was like, no, I'm not going to keep it. They just had a little bit too many flaws. But I would say 95% I did keep. So I hope this was helpful. Give her a thumbs up if it was helpful for you. On the next video, keeping with labels, but I'm going to show you a totally different way to make labels for our junk journals. In the meantime, over here, a video is going to pop up just for you, and I will see you over there.